Hi everyone, we're back with another video. We're the TheFanStands. Today we're going to cover the Super Saturday match, Leicester versus Arsenal, and Leicester winning 2-0. Leicester is now hot on the heels of Liverpool, only 8 points behind. So I feel that something is brewing in Leicester. It's 2016 again. So what do you think, Musa?
Um, Arsenal were expected to lose. I'm sorry. Um,
I wasn't surprised.
no, not surprised at all. Arsenal playing away at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. Leicester played absolutely well.
Brilliant.
In the first half, Arsenal were trying to welcome Leicester to come and please score against us.
They should have scored 4 or 5 times.
Sloppy play from Arsenal at the back. I mean, there's no communication at all. They're not progressing. There's no progress at all. I don't know what is Emery doing and still doing in the club. I was expecting a sack to be announced on Monday morning, but there's no progression. I think they just he just tells them just to go out there and play.
I personally felt that the players weren't exactly very happy.
They weren't very happy, and you can see the body language. I mean, there's nothing from Arsenal. I doubt there were any threats from a few threats from Arsenal.
Aubameyang scored, but again it was offside. That was like one of the few highlights.
Only highlights from Arsenal,
Arsenal
then,
side.
but Vardy, Tielemans, Perez,
Madison, everyone was just
Chilwell, they were just coming forward, just trying to score, and Vardy eventually scored.
Even
and
when Vardy scored,
Yeah.
you could see that Vardy was, it came from the right towards Vardy. It came in from the right.
Beautiful
And,
one-touch football.
it was
from
actually a
Leicester.
pretty good goal, but then, from Arsenal's perspective, Vardy was standing there unmarked,
He was
and
unmarked.
it was
In both
an
of the goals,
invitation to score.
even in the second goal,
he passed it
he
to
passed it
Madison.
to Madison. I mean, there was no one there. He had all the time in the world to cut to his right and give a pass to Madison at the edge of the box, who just
Nutmegged.
who just had a low drive with the outside of his boot, and he scored.
Yeah.
So it was game over. Even before Leicester scored, you could see a goal coming. And
Obviously.
coming back to a point like 2016 all over again, see, the Premier League is different from then and
100%.
before, because Liverpool and City, they weren't doing as well as they are right now.
It was fairly open back then.
It was open, and there's one thing I'd like to add, that this Leicester squad is way better and stronger than the one they had in the 2015-16 season. But then again, the context of the league has changed, and it's very tough. Brendan Rodgers has done an absolutely amazing job in less than a year's time at the club.
Yeah, but I'd say this: both Liverpool and City have a very tough December and mid-November ahead. But Leicester's next 5 games are with the 15, 16, 17, and 18 sides. The next 5 games, Leicester has a chance of winning quite easily, and Liverpool has a lot of games, especially the two games in one day thing as well. So they're going to be tired, and the first big game that Leicester has is with Liverpool right before Christmas.
But my point is, Hassan, you're comparing, it's like you're comparing apples to oranges, here. When you're talking about Liverpool and Manchester City, and if you look at their squads, there's a stark difference between, Leicester City squad and, obviously, City and City and Liverpool squad. Secondly, let's take City out of the picture. If you look at Liverpool, they stand 8 points ahead of City at the moment.
Ahead of Leicester.
Ahead of Leicester. So my point is that within those five, within that busy week that you're talking about, that day when they have 2 matches, they're actually not playing the same team for both matches. Obviously,
it's not possible.
So my point is, and when you're talking about a team like Liverpool that's looking to get as much silverware as they possibly can and looking to challenge for the title. I'm sure that they've given this a thought that there'll be times when they'd be busy with their season, and they'd obviously need to have that kind of depth in their
injuries can happen in any.
This
But
can happen for sorry to cut you guys off, for Leicester as well. Injuries, if Vardy is missing a match through suspension, injury,
Exactly.
Madison, any one of them.
Yeah.
Who
Now
plays?
Leicester, what is Leicester looking at? See, they're doing well, but I'm sure that they're not playing the season with the intent of going after the Premier League.
Exactly.
Brendan Rodgers has been the coach of Liverpool, and he's a very cautious manager. He doesn't like to jump ahead and say we're going to challenge for the title or we're going to
Definitely.
do this. He'll try to get silverware, maybe not the Premier League, maybe the FA Cup. And Liverpool, I can tell you, Jurgen Klopp, he would even throw away the Champions League just to win the league. That is what
Exactly.
Liverpool wants.
Because that's the thing.
And Liverpool versus Leicester, now you mentioned before Christmas, that's a very important match, a very good match. So this will show how strong Liverpool are and how resilient Leicester can be against a big side. They went away to Old Trafford to play a weak Manchester United side, and still Manchester United came with a 1-0 win.
1-0 win.
Yes.
Yes, it was early at the start of the season, but that still showed that Leicester still has a long way to go. At times you're doing well, but when you're facing an opponent who's no stranger to finishing in the top four or fighting for the league, so that mental and psychological pressure comes on you.
Even if you look at Brendan Rodgers' season with Liverpool, I remember that season when Liverpool was doing really well against with Brendan Rodgers. But then suddenly there was this dip in form, and then you saw Liverpool falling into this pit hole of darkness and
And then
insecurity, and that's when other teams started growing up. Plus, another point that I have is that Hassan, you're looking at, we're sitting before Boxing Day, and we're in the first half of the season at the moment, that there's
and
going
they
to
play
be.
City on Boxing Day.
My point is that things really change after the Boxing
Definitely.
Day, and
It can,
because
it can.
Champions League starts, a lot of teams do business in January. There are new players who come in, and your form can change. Now, if you look at United as well, United was out of form, but then their players started coming back in. Now you look at them, they won 2 games on the trot. So my point is that teams that are not playing so well before possibly the Boxing Day can turn their fortunes around. Even with Arsenal, let's suppose if Emery gets sacked,
Or it doesn't
by
get sacked.
Boxing Day, and they have another manager who comes in and they want to prove, the players want to prove themselves. I'm sure that they can definitely take that top 5 spot. And City goes, if you're talking about City, Leicester finishing higher than City, I definitely don't see that
And
happening.
I
Nobody saw it in 16 as
also
well.
like to argue with you that those bottom five teams, they're not just going to welcome Leicester and give them points.
Exactly.
They also want to fight for to get saved from relegation.
And you're not talking about Liverpool or City that they're just going to go to a smaller team and they're going to win.
Yeah, but
there's no
Leicester,
guarantee for that.
Leicester scored
So
the
they're
second
playing
most number of
well,
goals, the least amount of goals conceded.
It can
So,
it can change.
Everything's going well for them right now.
It is for now. It is. I mean, things like I agree with Dan. Even last season, Liverpool was top of the league at Boxing Day. One loss to City and a few draws here and there, and the league changed. City went on a continuous,
They just kept
winning
winning.
streak. And Liverpool, they did not lose, but they only had draws, and that is how they lost the league by a point or so. So I want Leicester to do well. I like the way they're playing. They're a very good team if you're watching as a neutral. But the thing is, how long and how far can they go? How strong are the players mentally, and how prepared is the coach for finishing, trying to fight for the league? That doesn't seem possible that they're going to go for the league. They're going to try and finish in the top four. That is, the owners and the management will be really happy if he can even finish
100%,
top.
100%. Even if they qualify for the Europa League, I guess. But like another interesting point about this is, whenever you're thinking like that, you also need to bring into perspective that Leicester has a couple of players that are really shining at the moment.
Yes.
And James Maddison has been linked with United time and time again. You never know if United goes into the market. They can definitely go and romanticize with that player and attract that player.
Definitely.
And joining their
It
team.
can be like
can happen.
Harry Maguire
Or-
went to United. He can convince a few players from these kids from Leicester to come in at United. Anything can happen in January.
Exactly.
Anything can happen. All right, so coming back to the game a bit, let's talk about the initial. Again, we are for Guendouzi. It should have.
Again,
I believe it was a
it
penalty.
should have been a penalty. Guendouzi is making a habit of just climbing on top of the players and rather than trying to get the ball.
Yeah,
He did the-
his arm was right
he
on the
did
neck.
the same thing against
That was
against
ugly.
Zaha when Palace were going for the counter, and he did this again at Leicester. That should have been a clear-cut penalty. VAR, I don't know what to say. I'm running out of.
I think the
I'm
best
Yeah.
the
Define
best
VR.
thing to tell you guys is that Hassan here, and probably also us, but particularly Hassan is going to be doing a video
Yes.
on the VR. He's going to be basing his video on the VR, and he's going to be telling his pointers and going through controversies, not only in the Premier League but also in the Champions League. And I think that could be a good session where we could probably even shed some light, deeper light into the VAR, because when you're talking about the VAR, there are a lot of technical things that go wrong as well. Us just telling somebody that we thought otherwise, the decision went the other way, is not enough. I feel in order to educate our audience, I feel that we need to tell them both sides of the
Talk
picture
about
as well.
VAR. Now coming back to the match, Ozil started for Arsenal.
Yeah.
That showed that Emery maybe had the intent of trying to go for a win, but then again
It,
the team.
it was all
But with
Leicester.
Emery, honestly
their
speaking,
team,
the one,
nothing from their team.
I
It
feel
was
the
all
one
Leicester.
thing, and the reason why Emery could be playing Ozil is that a man who wasn't playing him out of his ego now suddenly picking him week in week out. I feel even if you look at the post match press conference presser that Emery had, Emery is closing down towards a mental or emotional breakdown at the moment.
Yeah,
He's
definitely,
pressurized.
definitely.
He's got a lot of pressure. He actually gave out a plea to the fans that please be patient. I'll fix this. We'll improve. And stuff like that. My point is that that's a very desperate person speaking.
Very desperate and nothing. His performances and the stats, speak louder than words.
Exactly.
There's nothing to show for, and what else can I say? I mean, I don't know what Arsenal is doing at the moment. There should be slight improvement, a slight fight back. Nothing at all, and now the rumors. More and more weeks pass by. Now the rumors that Luis Enrique, the former Barcelona coach, might be.
Okay, so
being considered for,
while I was coming over for this shoot today, I actually read an article over this. Luis Enrique is actually also being linked with Bayern Munich at the moment. And my point is that at the moment there are a lot of rumors going on.
Yes, definitely there are. But see now Arsenal. This is only adding pressure to Emery himself.
But continuing on, one of those points that we actually, made in one of our last videos was that, Mourinho to Arsenal.
Yeah, no, this is what I was
You
talking. I mean,
really want him to come to
every,
Arsenal.
every week there's a new manager being linked with the club.
Yeah.
If I'm Emery now, I'll be really tense. Okay.
My job is just out.
It's not only that Wenger is Mourinho is an option, and he might come or not come. There are other managers as well who need a job at the moment.
Agreed.
So even they can come and take my place.
Agreed.
So that is why I'm saying the pressure is piling up on him, and he's just trying to put out a plea for the fans, and the fans are very unforgiving. I mean, if there is no performance, no fight back, nothing to show for, then no one can save him. The board will absolutely.
And by the way, interesting news that I actually put my eyes onto was that Brendan Rodgers from Leicester. He's actually there's another rumor going on that Manchester United may be interested in appointing him, which I feel is rubbish.
I think
But-
I can speak about just briefly. I think it's too early for Rodgers to manage a
100%.
big club. Okay,
100%.
Liverpool came very early for him. Leicester is a team with not much expectations. Okay,
Exactly.
Liverpool, I think he overachieved that season with
Agreed.
Luis Suarez and Sterling. Sturridge was also in good form. Gerrard was almost about to retire and want to give it his best before want to try and win the league. So he was absolutely exposed when few
Torres.
starters from Liverpool left.
Torres scored. He slipped.
Yeah, no, it was I think Demba Ba in fact who scored. So
Okay.
no, it wasn't Torres. So now rumors will come by season. Every month,
Agreed.
you'll
Agreed.
hear rumors. I mean, Mourinho to Everton was bizarre to begin with at the start of the season. So let's see what happens.
Edison Park.
Good.
The Goodison, sorry.
Goodison.
I'm so sorry. That's a slip
So
of my tongue.
I think that covers the match. Not much to talk about. Like we can still bash Emery, but it's
Yeah, I guess that's
it's all the same because there's no progress, nothing different being tried from his end that we can criticize. Okay, this time he tried to go with this, and it did work or did not work because absolutely nothing from Arsenal.
Alright, so I guess that's about it for the video. Do remember to like the video and share it among your friends. Also, do remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Give us your comments. Tell us what you liked about the video, what you want to talk about, if whether you agree with us or not. And
Especially if you agree with Hassan that Leicester can compete for the league.
yeah, I'm a believer.
Or Arsenal fans, I think if you guys comment on our video and just want Emery to be out, maybe he can get the message that way.
so. I guess that's about it. So bye bye from our
Bye.
end.
Alright, Nafis.